What's going on, folks? We are back after quite a long time off. This time we are live with a replay of a ladder match. It's going to be a PvZ between the red Protoss, MrPeanut, and the blue Zerg, FrubblyBog. So Frubbly was playing random and did tell his opponent his race, as we saw that little pre-game chit chat. Nice pleasantries, just GL, and yeah, disclosing that he is indeed Zerg. Of course, you can't always trust the word of your random opponent. Sometimes they may be tricking you. But Frubbly, a man of honor, telling the truth there. Gonna be going for a 16 hatchery. That is a standard opening in ZVP and any matchup, to be honest. MrPeanut going for a scout. Just gonna confirm that FrubblyBog indeed is a Zerg. Steal some minerals here. Stealing 5 minerals. We'll see if that comes into play later on. Maybe Frubbly will end up being 5 minerals short of building something he needs. MrPeanut on his side of things going for a relatively quick nexus after the gateway, delaying that cyber core. Did scout, of course, that there's not going to be any type of early pool rushes, so it's going to feel safe to throw down that early nexus. Worth noting that this is Cosmic Sapphire, perhaps the largest map in the map pool, one of the oddest maps in the map pool as well. As we can see, the layout of the map kind of weird. There's no direct path you can't go through here, so you gotta kind of go around like a serpentine motion. And of course, it's not symmetrical as we expect. It is symmetrical through the diagonal, but yeah, kind of a weird map. There's this corner gold base, 2 lings popping out. Just gonna start chasing that probe. Probably not gonna get it because they are very similar in movement speed, although it is getting low, but should be able to get back behind that adept, and it does with 5 HP remaining. MrPeanut gonna be going for a Stargate, pretty common opening in PvZ. Stargate is pretty much the safest opening. Typically, Protoss players go for at least 1 Oracle, and you can keep it at home to beam down the Zerglings in case they go for some kind of attack, or send it across, beam down some drones pretty quickly. And oftentimes you'll see Protoss players getting 2 or even 3 Oracles. We'll see if MrPeanut decides to do that. Now FrubblyBog, he is going for a sneaky secret gold base, and it should pay off for him because there is no scouting coming out from MrPeanut. He's gonna take out 1 Zergling at the front there. I'm gonna send these 2 adepts out. Pretty common behavior out of Protoss players. 2 adepts, of course, is enough to one-shot drones. That's typically what you will see. Probably going for that Overlord Scout. I'm gonna spot that Stargate. But the first Oracle already on the way. No Spore Crawlers coming up just yet because these 2 adepts are being a little bit of a nuisance. And they do see that there are no drones here because Frubbly did transfer them all to this gold to saturate that immediately. Oracle getting 4 kills right off the bat, but setting its target onto the extractor. Bit of a mistake by MrPeanut. Probably could have gotten a few more drones. But as is, has to settle for only 4. Does escape with its life, but it is very low. So not the end of the world for FrubblyBog. He is only sitting on 23 workers at the moment, but he's going for quite a lot of roaches as we see here. And of course that data is a bit skewed because the income from this gold is worth quite a lot. Let's take a quick look at the income graph. I don't know how to do that. Sure, this is a replay. Look at the income chart. Yeah, gonna be favoring the Protoss player, but not too hugely. FrubblyBog going for a Roachling Ravager attack. MrPeanut, however, does have 2 Void Rays and an Oracle on the defense, so he's likely not going to be able to do a whole lot. Constantly attack, take out the shield battery on the second legs for the defense. About it. I don't think that was really worth it. MrPeanut just chilling. Can't be too upset by that. Losing cybernetics core and a battery. That's 250 minerals. Does need to rebuild that, probably. Cybernetics core made just yet. Probably gonna be macroing back up, throwing down a few spore crawlers. Because of course there are those void rays. MrPeanut going for that 3rd, and still hasn't scouted this gold, though this gold has been paying for itself. We'll see just how long probably gets to keep this. MrPeanut also going for some ground units in the robotics facility. Disruptors, very scary and annoying unit, but difficult to use, so we'll have to keep an eye on MrPeanut's disruptor control. Sometimes we'll see Protoss players commit entirely into the sky technology, but MrPeanut is not going to be doing that. He's going for ground units as well, and that, in my opinion, is scarier than pure sky toss. Going for a little bit of a scout here. Won't be able to find any damage at the 3rd, but he's gonna run into the main and see pretty much everything there is to see here. Probably not gonna get any damage, but the scout, the information is pretty good. And that's probably going for Hydralisks. Not my favorite unit in the game. They do, of course, turn into lurkers, which are quite formidable. Do not see a lurker den just yet, but I wouldn't be surprised to see one in the near future. Bases number 4 and 5 coming up for FrubblyBog, and now finally MrPeanut scouting that gold base, so he will likely go for an attack there relatively soon. Does look like he is coming. FrubblyBog gonna abandon it. That is the wise choice, I think. That's already paid for itself, so don't really want to risk too much and end up losing the game right here. Just sacrifice that base. And there is the lurker den coming up. FrubblyBog still down on workers, 52 to 70, and now losing that gold base means he's gonna have to polish up that macro a little bit. This base decently saturated with the transfer from that gold. And this 5th, now 4th coming up. If MrPeanut sets his sights on that base, I'm not sure if probably thinking not at the moment to really defend. Only 2 lurkers on the way, and just a handful of Hydras, a few Ravagers. MrPeanut not moving in. Did he even spot that base? Yeah, he did. So, not sure why he didn't go for the attack. Probably could have picked that off. Now, FrubblyBog, 2 defensive lurkers, quite a lot of Hydras. It would probably be safe if MrPeanut decides to go for an attack. MrPeanut also with 4th base of his own, getting Colossus, and he's actually shifted away from the Stargate technology. As the armies here look like they thought about going for a battle, but decided against it. MrPeanut now backing away, giving FrubblyBog some breathing room. Hive on the way. That's a very essential upgrade. So you can get the lurker upgrades. Lurker's not too good without those upgrades. That is, of course, the range and the quick burrow, which also increases their speed. Now, MrPeanut sitting quite comfortably on 82 probes. He's got a lot of energy on some of these nexuses. If you spend that, just chrono boost, everything, why not? Another Stargate on the way, so it does look like he has plans to shift back into Stargate tech. The Hive is done for the Zerg player. Getting 8 more lurkers, getting those very essential upgrades for the lurkers. FrubblyBog still on quite a poor worker count, 63, now shooting up to 83. That's a lot better to see. MrPeanut has had the income advantage for most, if not all, of this game. And these lurkers be the tide turner. Going down some more Stargates now, 3 Stargates, as well as the Fleet Beacon. MrPeanut likely going to be shifting into carriers and Tempest, perhaps even a mothership. Upgrades. MrPeanut has 111, while FrubblyBog +1 range. Going for a +3 right away. Armor. Not going to be too useful in this matchup, however, once carriers take the field, you want that armor to reduce the damage from each interceptor. So, FrubblyBog might want to throw down a second evolution chamber sooner rather than later. Going for a big attack, likely deny, maybe not. FrubblyBog with his lurker position. Nice disruptor shot, taking out, I think, 2 lurkers there. MrPeanut just looking for an angle. Nice stasis trap over there, trapping 5 lurkers. But it's always very difficult to engage into lurkers. This one observer gonna spot pretty much everything until it is taken out. And we're gonna have a 5 zealot hit squad along. Here comes MrPeanut. Very bold move in. Eating a lot of lurker spines. Decides to back up. Wisely so, because these lurkers will do a lot of damage uncontested. And those zealots, I feel like they should have gone for maybe some harassment here, but maybe just control there, just walking into their death. Looking for an angle here, gonna eat a ton more lurker spines, and decide doesn't really want to go in just yet. Now here we go, that's the counterattack I was talking about. Very nice damage being done here from MrPeanut and his zealots, taking out a lot of drones there. FrubblyBog gonna have to divert some Hydras over here, take those out. But losing about 20 or so workers there. Pretty costly. Be remaking 10 more drones there. And now MrPeanut. One handful of Colossus. Now, walking forward, trying to take out some of these lurkers. But it's not going to be able to continue that push. MrPeanut now indeed shifting into full carrier production, 5 at a time out of his 5 Stargates. And DTs on the map as well. Where are those Invisiboys? There they are, 4 coming in, and there are no spores, no overseers at this base. So this base could be very easily targeted down. 1 spore moving in at the moment, burrowing. That's going to provide vision, but there's not a whole lot else over here. 1 zealot wandering into the main, going to be taken out by a queen. These Hydras, not really going to be enough, but the spines do finish. That's going to defend this base. We do see Corruptors taking the field as well. That is the proper counter to carriers. You do not want to get trapped into Hydra tech. Looks like he is poised for another attack. FrubblyBog need very solid defense here. That is 5 carriers, 4 Colossus, 4 High Templars as well. That is very scary. Another Zealot hit squad coming in once again. Should not be able to do too much against these 4 spine crawlers. But it is a good move by MrPeanut, just constantly attacking multiple positions, keeping his opponent on the back foot. FrubblyBog is maxed out. He's going to be making a few more spine crawlers to bring that supply down just a little bit. He does on paper have all the tools necessary to counter this army. It's coming down to control. The Boss army doesn't really require a whole lot of control. It does have to land the storms and maybe that disruptor Nova. This would be up to Frubbly to avoid those. Target down the carriers, yep. Avoid those storms. Inch forward the lurkers. A bit of a chess game over here. Storms, although not landing fully, are just chipping away at the Corruptor army. You can see all of these Corruptors peppered up, and MrPeanut just takes out that base and recalls his army. Very nice and annoying move there. FrubblyBog looks like he wants to go for a counter attack. Not sure if he can really accomplish too much with MrPeanut's army over here. Siege up the lurkers, and the Raptors actually find the carrier for pretty much free there. There is protection here. So lurkers back up just a smidge. Once again, we are playing this positional game. MrPeanut a bit sidetracked. He lose all of his carriers there. The High Templar wandering forward, losing all of those as well as the lurkers. So pretty good fight there from FrubblyBog. Pick up the Tempest. Don't really want to fight the Void Rays on top of the cannons. Back up again. Fall back just a bit. Overseer is going to show up, so those DTs are not going to be able to do the damage they had liked. And these Corruptors, not really too much in the skies right now, so they are kind of useless at the moment, but MrPeanut still committing to air, getting more carriers, more Void Rays. And then these Corruptors just going to use their Caustic Spray ability, beam down this Nexus super quick, and just get on out of there. Pretty nice move. huge zealot force over here. Is this enough spine crawlers? Honestly, I'm not sure, but not sure what these zealots are doing actually. They might have been able to get some damage here, or if not, just go to another base. Might have been able to do quite substantial damage, but they were just wandering on creep. Now probably should have an idea, but not repositioning his army. Gonna let the static defense take care of this, but this base, spine crawler's not up yet. Probably gonna have to back up to defend. Lurkers burrowing, and that should dispatch of these zealots finally. Both players have similar worker count, similar army count, similar base count, but that zealot attack pretty much killing or abandoning all the drones from this base. And MrPeanut does have this corner base that is gonna get started. I think that's the one that got sprayed down earlier. Gonna be transferring drones there. One zealot versus one queen. Zealot this. Zealot's OP, man. And no real change in tech for either player. It's just gonna be Lurker Corruptor against Void Ray, Carrier, Templars, and a couple Archons on the bottom there. I think the Protoss army wins this straight up, but Vipers on the way as well, and that could be the difference maker. Going for a big attack on his southern base. It'll be very difficult to engage this once again. The difficulty of going up against Sky Toss. There's so much to think about. You gotta avoid the Archons, you gotta avoid the storms, you gotta target fire carriers, perhaps the Void Rays, because the Void Rays do a lot of damage versus Corruptors. A lot to think about for the Zerg player. Meanwhile, the Protoss player can kind of just ABU, cast a couple storms once in a while. FrubblyBog does lose that base position. MrPeanut now rotating around, going for the other fringe bases, it looks like. FrubblyBog again. To work very hard to get this defense. Where are those Vipers? There they are. Let's see if they can make the difference. Dropping one parasitic bomb, center mass on all the Void Rays. That is huge. No micro the Protoss, because Protoss players don't know how to do that. All of these Void Rays using all of their shields. Second Viper dropped another parasitic bomb on the carriers. That one is not impactful. Another parasitic bomb onto the Void Rays. Once again, no splitting by MrPeanut. That's not going to be enough to kill the Void Rays. The Corruptors are going to need to come in and clean that up. And where are they going? Yeah, you know, these Void Rays, they are all so low. Here are the Corruptors, but at what cost? The Hive has gone down, the Greatest Fire going down, the Spawning Pool going down. However, the Golden Armada of the Protoss player has been pretty much completely wiped out. And a very costly army there from the Protoss player. I'm not sure who really comes out ahead after that. Look at the numbers. Yes, FrubblyBog has the supply lead, but quite down on workers. He's have a lot of minerals, not so much gas. So he's gonna need to get some counter damage done, which he is going for. MrPeanut very bold, trying to take this base on FrubblyBog's side. Frubbly not gonna allow that to happen. He gets the cancel on that. To set his sights on some of these other bases as well. MrPeanut trying trying to remake his Golden Armada, but it's going to take some time. FrubblyBog gonna have a bit of a window here. Can he capitalize on this? What is this little emblem from MrPeanut? What is doing something? Anyways, looking out that base there and another base here. A lot of probes going down. This is exactly the equalizing damage that FrubblyBog needed to find. Now MrPeanut's worker count down to under 20. This is a huge counter-strike from FrubblyBog. Now moving into where these carriers and void rays are located. Parasitic bombs, corruptors have their way with these carriers, and MrPeanut kind of just allowing it to happen. I think you should have backed up. There's no reason to defend this base. It's all mined out already. Now, once again, all the carriers being taken out by the corruptors. And this base going down as well. Only a handful of corruptors left, however. Still have to respect the void rays. 9 more corruptors being produced for FrubblyBog. And MrPeanut in quite a pickle now. No mining left on the map as all these bases are dried up. But Frubbly's economy not stellar either. There's just a few patches left here. And this base still pretty healthy. Need some more workers there. Now lurkers sieging up the natural. FrubblyBog should likely have this game in the bag. Just has to be careful not to fumble it to maybe some weird ground tech switch or something. Overcommitting to corruptors by using their ability to spray down these stargates. And that's going to be helpful to stifle the production of MrPeanut. But he still has 1, 2, 3 stargates. Looks like all the lurkers have been taken out. Take a look at the units tab. 15 corruptors, 3 vipers, 22 zerglings against 4 zealots, 2 carriers, 3 void rays, and a single stalker. So on paper, FrubblyBog does have this in the bag. He has a huge mineral bank as well, but not so much gas. So these corruptors are going to be about it for now until these extractors start paying for themselves. Bit of a Ling run-by, perhaps. Probably not going to be able to do too much against these cannons. MrPeanut still fighting for his life here for a big counterattack. And FrubblyBog, does he have enough to take this out? Looks like he should, yes, but not too much answer for the ground army. As I was saying before, just make a huge switch onto ground, then you're left with a bunch of corruptors that can't do anything. FrubblyBog, a lot of minerals, so you can make lings for days, and that should be enough to deal with this. No attack upgrades on these lings, actually. Kind of just tickling the zealots. Zealots gonna win that fight, actually. Pretty crazy to see there. Still a lot of minerals for FrubblyBog. He just needs the time and larva to produce them. Now corruptors don't really have anything in the skies to deal with, so they're just gonna spray down over to the main base. Kind of a crazy sight to see. Just coughing up that green sludge, destroying whatever Protoss buildings they can. MrPeanut down to his last legs, says, "You got me," and leaves the game. FrubblyBog gonna come up with the victory in that game.